Judas and the Black Messiah, music inspired by the, as we use the term loosely, motion picture, as it exists right now on HBO, tells the story of Fred Hampton, who, in his history, if you haven't heard of Fred Hampton that's by design, he was during the 70s in a really like radical era of American politics, not only trying to unite the Black Panthers and different like Black nationalist groups, including like Muslim Brotherhood and all these different things who were having arguments together, but was also trying to get like skinheads and racists to see that like the problem isn't our racial bickering, the problem is capitalism. The problem is the government who would rather have us killed than see us be rich. And so the government had Fred Hampton killed.
As always happened.
And so Judas and the Black Messiah.
Martin King Luther Jr., just, you know.
And Judas and the Black Messiah goes directly into that. The Black Messiah being Fred Hampton and Judas being the main character who was an FBI informant. And it's kind of following that story. And so that is to say, none of this music makes it into the actual film itself. This is all
just inspired tracks and stuff.
Inspired by featuring some artists, some alive, some not, who are you know, similarly talking about this
definitely
era.
Not.
Definitely. I guess if we're just getting it out of the way, which is to say that this is not an album review. This is more just like a mixtape, a collection of songs. And as far as these things go, I think it's a pretty decent collection of songs.
It's good. I actually really like the track, what it feels like. Rest in peace, Nipsey and Jay-Z. And I'm not a Jay-Z fan at all. By the slightest. But I actually really enjoyed that track. And I've been listening to it a lot the past couple of days now, where that one, I'm like, I put that on my gym playlist, and it's a decent track. Some other ones are good too. So there's actually a lot in here. You got her, you have Nas, you got Hit Boy.
Hit Boy's on a lot of the songs in here, and actually kind of comes correct. I actually got a new sort of like appreciation for the lyrical kind of mindset of Hit Boy.
Even the production of it too, because like Broad Day with just Hit Boy track was very good. I was surprised as well.
Yeah, the production in here is really great. This definitely isn't a quality control venture, as it were. Because they did, Quality Control did the thing for Superfly.
Yeah, they did.
Did the record for that, and Future oversaw that, and that was a different thing.
And
that was the whole thing. Here, the production, it's more like Black Panther, which TDE and Kendrick Lamar did the soundtrack for. Again, a lot of that music was in the film, so it's a little bit of a separate story. But here, the production is tight enough where it like takes a back seat, where it's like not distracting you from the thing. It's like the trap is perfectly inoffensive trap. It just like works as a production beat to be contemporary.
Rap hip hop is fantastic. It's like a throwback to old school mixed new school. There's a lot of good production in that as well, and it's perfectly great.
The song Plead the 45th with Smino and Saba. I love me some Smino, so I liked that background. They do a good amount of...
Yeah, remind me of Anderson .Paak a bit too, actually, with the production.
Yes, that's generally sort of like Smino's like a good cross between like Amine and Anderson .Paak.
I can see that.
We've done a couple of songs of his like previously in Audioface, like singles and stuff like that. But it plays together really well. Again, this is barely an album. It's more like a mixtape. I will give the mixtape credit to where if you listen to it in order, the songs do go together.
Yeah, they do.
They put the rappy parts and the trappy parts together.
They actually, they put the way more thought into it than I thought they were going to.
Yeah, honestly. I mean, there's more thought on this collection of songs loosely inspired by a movie and a real life historical event than there are in artists really thoughtfully trying to put out their first effort of work. And it's kind of embarrassing.
So even an album.
Yeah. I mean, like, again, we got some more. Wasn't there like a Nas hit or something in there? There was something in here that was just, no. It was Welcome to America with Black Thought and everything. Just a very, like sort of nonstop hitting verses that were really good. Even shout out with Pooh Shiesty with No Profanity. Again, kind of showing like his lyrical talent is there for a Gucci Mane copy.
Yeah, and A$AP Rocky's track too towards the end was pretty good too, and I'm not a big A$AP Rocky fan either. So it's showing other artists that we normally don't get a chance to appreciate more of their production because we're not hearing them 24/7 and it gets washed out. So you get to hear a little bit more with that, which is a good thing.
Yeah. These are perfectly, like I might throw some of these songs onto like a playlist of some kind. Yeah. But these are just like, perfectly inoffensive songs, which is like, I was expecting to hate parts of this.
Me too. I was waiting to go into it and I was like, this is actually, all of it's decent. I don't really hate any of it,
There may be parts of it that are like bland or less memorable, but I'd much rather have like I don't remember it versus I remember it because I hate it.
Exactly. Like, I would much rather listen to this than Playboy Cardi any day of the week.
Yeah.
So.
You can play it on. It's not really shuffle it. Just have it on the background. So it's like decent tracks. And it even works as a concept album because like all the songs are loosely in some way inspired by the happenings of Fred Hampton on the movie. Film itself, not bad. If you have AT&T Max or whatever it is, it's totally
AT&T.
You know, AT&T is selling off DirecTV, so it's not AT&T TV anymore. It's just the AT&T. I'm not going to go into corporate corner.
That's hilarious. I did not know that, and I'm going to look into that after this podcast.
Yes, but yeah, it's definitely a solid collection of songs. Surprisingly, as far as Genesis models go, I'll give this. It's the G70. That's their smallest
G70,
one.
yeah, G70.
Yeah. Did they make that in a coupe, or is it just sedan? Looks like just a sedan.
I'm pretty sure it's just a sedan. They don't. Yeah. I don't think they have any coupes.
Yeah, not yet. Other than the Hyundai Genesis that's not made anymore.
Yeah. You know, I'd say, but not in their current lineup.
Yeah. So we're good on the G70. It's just like it rounds up the lineup.
It rounds. It's solid. Yeah. It's a decent car. Like you'll turn
G80. Sorry, because it's the one in the middle of the lineup.
Okay, G80. That's fine. You'll turn some heads.
Yeah.
No matter what.
Yeah. It's not the G90, which is like a. It's a cheaper Maybach that's better than the Maybach.
Maybachs are unbelievably overrated.
They did
sorry, Mercedes.
They did the dash on the Germans so bad, like it's not funny.
Yeah.
Anyways,